Hello, crazy world. You've arrived at That's a Pretty Crazy Idea. And me, I'm John. And when I tried to put new oil in and flush it out, it just bled right out of the end of the clutch. It was done. The slab cylinder, it was done. And I don't think, by the looks of the oil, that this oil had ever been changed. So there's the old clutch. It's a little bit cleaned up because I did wipe it off. And the other problem I had was getting the end off. You could forget it. I couldn't even get it off once I took it off because I tried. So got myself a new lead, rubber lead from the master cylinder, and a piece of tubing. Got to bend it, and a new slave cylinder. No wonder they wanted to get rid of the car. There was so many problems with it. But I guess it just was going to nickel and dime them to death, and they just didn't want any part of it. Just one more thing. I actually bought jobber parts for the clutch and clutch slab cylinder and the hose. And I didn't get them from Honda. Honda was going to take way too long, and even that I could only find one of these in town. It's like, wow. Yeah, one of the reasons that I'm actually bought jobber parts anyways, not so worried about the new slab cylinder. It's not that hard to replace, but I'm actually thinking about going stainless steel braided hose for all the run all the way to the master cylinder from the slave cylinder. So I'll just for right now, I just want to get the car up and running and try and see what other major problems there are so that I can actually sort them and have a running card as my baseline, so that when I do all the work I'll have an idea of what it felt like before I put all the new stuff on it. It's always good to know what it would be working like beforehand. That's my bend for my one that kind of got rubbished. Came out pretty close, so pretty happy with that. And then here's the new rubber. Now, strange thing is, I'm planning on replacing this all with the K-tuned clutch system. Wait and see. I'm not sure about the design of this right yet. Have to wait and see. All I know is that there's restrictors on these, and so your clutch actually actuates a little bit slower because of the restrictor. Okay, so the master cylinder is way in under there, and like I said, I mean, this looks brand new. So does this, but it looks like it's blacker than hell in there. So I don't know what that's all about. So I'm gonna have to replace this. I don't know if they've done too much damage to the that hydraulic fluid. Looks like it's shot. Okay, well, down you go. So I had already pumped through a lot on this one, so the actual reservoir there is pretty good. But I'm going to pump some more through to make sure I've only got clean fluid coming through here. And yeah, then it's just a question of putting the other stuff back in. Now I tend to clean up these sort of things pretty damn good, and I do it for one reason. A long time ago I didn't clean some part up like this, and all of a sudden it wasn't working, even though I had all new stuff except for the one little bolt. So whenever you got something like one of these bolts, do a good thorough job on it. It's a small thing, but it's something that if you do backwards, it ends up being a bit of a hassle. If you got a pipe that's supposed to be flexed this way, don't try turning it around and flexing it the other way. It won't work. It's just a huge hassle. So when you install something like this, just make sure you got it the right way around. It's always advisable when you're doing stuff like this is to pull your boot back, clean up off all the old grease that was on the whatever you're working on, and just repack it with fresh stuff. I mean, the amount of time it takes to do it is like seconds, but it means that you won't get a lot of grip going into your clutch. Just using some white lithium grease. It's not white anymore, but oh well, a little bit old. I put a bit on the shaft to get the rubber up and over, and I put some in the pot, and I'm going to put some on the bearing just to make sure it's really well lubed. Okay, so this is a piece that goes right there to protect the rubber, but I didn't put it on because I'd had to drill it out, and I thought, well, let's wait and see what I do with this anyways, because if I go with a K-tuned, maybe I want this size. I don't know. Now I'm going to tighten this up and make sure that this is in the right spot, simply because this is impossible to get to when it's in under the car. So I'll position that properly, and I'll probably bleed it in place because of just the way it all is. So yeah, I'm going to get this all roughly hooked in, and then I'll put fluid in and push it through. So fluid in the clutch was the same as in the master brake here, and I know I'm going to have to do a brake job because of that. I don't think they've ever done it.